All right. So this GameCube controller is not working properly. We're going to mess around with it a little bit. If you didn't see the first video where I reshelled this, you can go watch that. I'll hopefully have a card up here right now. But two things. One, this start button is very flat. It is always being pressed down pretty much. And this stick don't work so good. It doesn't read up or down. Left and right is fine, but up or down does not work at all. So we are going to just swap the stick entirely. C is working fine. Everything else is working fine and dandy. So we're just going to replace that real quick. We've got 2 screws here, 2 screws here, and 2 screws over here. They're all tri-wing screws, and they're slightly bigger than the Game Boy ones I'm used to. So I'm using the Y1 bit. And then we can just take that back half off, and we can actually pull the whole controller out. There's nothing holding this down. Yeah, oh, maybe that's what it is. Oh, I'm going to need to revise my video. There's a little snag of plastic right here that we can just clean up with my long fingernails because I need to cut them. Sand that down a little bit. And hey, look at that. You can actually use the start button. Okay, so the start button's fine. Okay, we'll keep that then. I was not originally going to keep that. Okay, one way or another, I'm going to have to remove this black piece, which it looks like it's just clipped in on the front side here. And we've got these wires hooked in there. We can rip those out. And we don't want to rip these wires out. So what I will do, slide that out. There we go. And I'll leave the other side in because it doesn't really matter that much. Here is our replacement stick. I just found these on Amazon, and we are going to be desoldering all of these pins over here. I'm going to use some desoldering wick, or just soldering wick, I guess, and go across all of those pins, and I need a new braid. Okay, I think that is enough. Hopefully it is. We should somehow be able to just rip this right out, assuming I've desoldered enough. There we go. And yeah, there's quite a bit of rusting underneath here. Nice. We can clean this up with some isopropyl alcohol. Now that both sides are cleaned up, we can take our stick, poke it through all those holes. Might have to bend some pins into place because they might have gotten messed up in shipping. That's all right, as long as they're not broken off. And then the much, much, much easier part, we can go ahead and add solder to all of those pins. And then I'll bust out some flux to clean some of these up. And that's pretty much it. I am going to clean this up a little bit because we got a lot of flux everywhere. Even though it is no clean flux, I still like to clean it up. And we can flip it back over. We can stick our R button back in, or L, whichever one this is. And we can snap this back into place, put our rumble motor back on, tuck the wire away. And since there's a bit of rubbing with the extreme rate stick, I'm going to test out a different aftermarket stick, see if it's any better or if it's just the shell. Go ahead and drop that in there. It is their stick. Okay. So this aftermarket stick works just fine. There's no rubbing. Cool. Now, when you're putting the back half back on, make sure these are all the way forward. Otherwise, your L and R buttons are not going to work as properly as they should. Make sure the stupid zip tie is out of the way as well. And then eventually we'll be able to stick that down and click it all into place and screw the two halves back together with those 6 tri-wing screws. That is a much tighter stick. Wow. And we can press start. We can press all of the buttons. Wow, it's like it's functioning properly. But yeah, that's really it. Let's go over to the GameCube and test out the controller. This was actually really annoying to just get set up because for some reason the PC just doesn't recognize GameCube controllers, and neither does my Mac. So I can't use Gamepad Tester like I normally do, the built-in web browser one. And then Dolphin wasn't recognizing my controller either, even though I did the weird workaround thing. But there is a Gamepad Tester dedicated for the GameCube. It's a .dol file. I'll have that link down below as well. And that's what I'm using here to test this. And as you can see, all the buttons are working. Even the rumble is working, even though it looks like there's not much left of it. And the stick is fully functional. So cool. I will have everything I used linked in the description, and if I forgot anything, please let me know. Next time you see a video like this, it'll be a modded GameCube controller, because my friend wants me to mod his GameCube controller for Melee. That one's going to be interesting.